Hey everybody, welcome in. I'm Julie Maxon, the Maine Stamper. I'm here for your weekly card class for Maine. It is Monday evening. I like to come live just a little after 8 on a Monday evening because I am never on time. It's 8:02 right now here on the East Coast, and it's a warm evening. The fall allergies are kicking in. We've got some leaves starting to change color, which is really exciting. And speaking of fall, this class, hi Jess, so glad to see you, and I'm so glad your order arrived good today. This class is all about the fall mini catalog, kind of like my kickoff class. And this is a class all about fall. There's going to be zero Christmas in here, so if you're looking for Christmas from me, you're going to have to wait a few more weeks because in a few weeks, I'm going to turn into the Christmas queen, and all you're going to see from me is Christmas for the next 2 months. Hi, Kathy. Kathy was at my in-person class. Kathy brought a delicious fresh apple cake, I should say. It was so fun. I had a really great group of girls come and hang out with us. We had some Canadian friends visit unexpectedly, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, I did a little post on my Facebook page a little bit about that class, and I really wish I'd gotten a picture of the truck and the camper that pulled into my driveway full of Stampin' Up! Lady cars and had a really hard time turning back around. But that was a little bit of drama in the middle of the afternoon, better than other crazy things that could have occurred, I'm sure. So here we are, we're doing a fall mini catalog kickoff. I have 4 cards for you there, all autumn themed cards. And you are going to be able to take this class at home. Isn't that exciting? Like, I always love bringing the same class to my friends that can't attend my live events. So basically, it works like this. You just place a $40 order this week and you get these 4 card kits at home. You're going to have to use your own stamps, your own inks, and maybe a little bit of some of the items that I'm using, but not all of them. You're going to have a really great variety of things, and I can't wait to share with you. I am embossing and die cutting quite a bit for this because they are 4 different bundles, 4 different stamp sets, different dies, what have you. It's not focused on just one like I normally do. So this is kind of like, what would we want to call this? A potluck. Let's call it a potluck, right? You're going to have all kinds of different cards, different themes, and of course you can use whatever you have at home to mix in too. So that's really exciting. So your $40 order this week with my host code gets you these cards in the mail. There's going to be ribbon in 3 of the cards, but you do have the opportunity to bump your order to $50 and get a free embellishment. So the embellishment that I'm going to use is not the same one. I used them on 1 card in our in-person class, and we used a lot of different embellishments, and I can't obviously send you guys like 4 different embellishments. So I picked one to send you as your free gift with your $50 order. And oh, guess what? Stampin' Up! Just announced free shipping day. So if you haven't heard this yet, free shipping on Wednesday. I know, for all of the people that just put in an order, I'm sorry, I didn't hear about it until 4 o'clock today. Wednesday only, that would be September 18th. And you will get free shipping on orders of 75 or more. Hi, Donna. So happy to see you on here. So if you shop Wednesday and do that free shipping deal, you're going to spend $75, get free shipping, which is basically probably what, $7.95 kind of like discount. You'll get the card kits and you'll get an embellishment. So I think that's a really great deal, a good deal, a really good day to shop and hang out, all that good stuff. So please continue to say hi as you jump on. If you were at my card class on Saturday and you are here again checking it out, make sure you say VIP because you guys are my VIPs. I cannot wait to share with you guys all of the pictures I took. So I took more pictures than I shared already on Facebook, and I took pictures of my Stamping Ladies cards because they changed them up quite a bit, and I was just awed by the great art that was happening in my house. So I took a lot of pictures. I'm going to be sharing them through the week with my original card design so that you can get some alternate ideas. Hi, Patty. Patty's a VIP. She was here too, and she stamped for 2. That's awesome. All right, let's get over to my workspace now because we have 4 cards to get through. So let me get transitioned over. And we're going to talk a little bit again about the mini catalog kickoff and what is going on today, right? So again, 4 different cards. I'm not going to show them to you just yet, but I'm going to talk to you about the offer for this week's special. $40 order is going to get you 4 card kits, and these are really like banging card kits because I'm not asking you to do too much work. I did a lot of work here. My girls did a lot of work Saturday. I'm doing a lot of work when I'm mailing them. $50 order is going to get you, the 4 card kits and an embellishment. Check out this one. This one is really pretty too. This is Blooming Pearls. You get pink, kind of like a peacock a gold, and this one is similar in color but more green, and I'm not sure what they're trying to come up with here. I don't know if the catalog lists that or not. It's a mystery color, but it is really pretty. You're going to get these with your $50 order, and then on Wednesday, if you order on Wednesday and spend $75, you're going to get the card kits, the embellishment, and free shipping. And your host code this week is still S. This is an S. 4RZFQN7. And my offers are always good through end of day Friday, because over the weekend I'm going to get some card kits ready to go and ship them out. So here we go. We're going to flip through the catalog a little bit, and we're going to start with, what are we going to start with today? We're going to start with this one. Now, I mentioned fall themed cards, but some of these cards are actually using bundles that you may think of more as Christmas. However, I think Humble Home is multi-season, multi-purpose. So we're starting out with the Humble Home bundle. This has the stamp set, which is photopolymer, and a builder punch. And I love a builder punch. There's nothing wrong with a good builder punch. Hi, Janice. Good to see you. All right, so I'm just going to make sure that I can see everything that you can see. And I may not see your comments until the end of class. So you continue to chat away in the comments, and I will check them all out later. All right, I got to find card number 1. All right, so here we go. I'm not going to pull the card out yet, but this is an example of a bin that you would see at my in-person class or my stamp camp. I just put everything into a bin that you're going to need, and you're going to get your card kit. So it's going to be our first card kit. I'm just going to pull that aside. I'm going to pull this aside. We've got some inks here. We're using Mossy, Pretty in Pink, and Night of Navy, so definitely not Christmas, right? Although this card really could lend itself to Christmas. We did use a couple of other stamps. I think I forgot to mount up Love. This is from the Unbounded Love because I wanted a different sentiment on my card. So you're going to see that in just a second. And I offered this stamp set all day on Saturday when I had my in-person class. I said to everybody, if you see a different sentiment you want to use on any of your cards, that's what I love about in-person. We just have fun. We have so much fun. We also are using this sketched plaid stamp. So I'm just showing you that one right now. This is one of those big honkin' background stamps. You need a big block for this guy, but I loving the plaid. I kind of went a little plaid crazy for this class. So Humble Home, here's our stamp set. I'm going to pull that out. You're getting ribbon in your card kit. I just didn't happen to cut that out, so you're going to get ribbon. I'm going to use a little bit of sponging. We've got a couple of stamps mounted up. We've got our punch. So I'm grabbing everything out, and then we're going to start cooking or stamping, either one. Okay, so let's talk about the stamp set for a second. You've got a really cute little house here that you can stamp that has little swirlies in it. Of course, it looks like gingerbread, right? You've got the brick side if you wanted to do brick. You have a roof. You have doors and a window. And then the builder punch right here, you're going to be able to punch out this image right here. And you can punch out a little square, which we use for a window. Of course, I love the heart. There's a teeny tiny hole right here, which would make a great tag. So I think you can see here on the samples that they've used the punch and they have created tags. If you have your book, it's on page 46. They did some really cute samples here. They also featured this exclusively on the front cover this year. So you see this house. So you can see that you could use it for different seasons. They don't all have to have a wreath for Christmas. They can have hearts. You could leave it plain. And some of the sentiments here would indicate from our house to yours, right? So you're getting the house in there. You got welcome and then home. So these are kind of homey, right? Homey stamp sentiments. You've got for this, thank you for the sweet gift. Thank you for coming. You do have Merry Christmas in here, so you can totally do this Christmas. Of course, there's a wreath, right? So those are some of the stamps. We're just using a few of them, and we're going to get going on this first card. Let me close up my book and move it hopefully not too far away. I need an assistant today. Somebody want to come and be assisting to me? That would be great. I have stuff everywhere. All right, so I took advantage of Spotlight on Nature dies. These are 2 of them, and you're getting die cuts in your kit, right? So those are going to come to you already die cut. I just wanted to show you those. Let me throw that back in that bucket. And I'm thinking I didn't pull these out of here, so let me see. Nope, I didn't. These would have been the pieces that I would have die cut for you. All right, so your card kit is going to look like this. Oh my gosh, you guys probably want to see the card too, right? We got some Mossy Meadows, some white, some really boring things here, right? There's a little piece of duck paper We're not using the ducks though. We're going to use the Pretty in Pink. I really love the Pretty in Pink. And this is the card that we made. So I'm going to show you the first card right here, right now. So you can see the plaid background. You can see the circles in action right here. So we've got the 2 circles, and you can see the punched pieces. We did a little bit of heat embossing, so we are going to heat emboss on this. This is where your ribbon comes in. And again, I will be sending you a little bit of this white ribbon. So you're going to have the ribbon, and these are actually the embellishment that we used on this particular card. Now you're getting this embellishment for free this week, so I'm going to use it on all my cards today. But this is our first card, an ooh and ah, because it is really awesome. I probably need a scrap paper to stamp on, so let me see what I got here. I'm always like not quite as prepared as I think I am. So let's grab out a scrap because we're going to start with our background stamp. So let's set a couple of these layers aside because I would like to lose them somewhere in my craft room and start with this green paper right here. This is going to be stamped at not Mossy Meadow. Don't reach for the mossy. We're doing Night of Navy. So we're doing a dark blue on this dark green. So when you look at this, it's not green on green and it almost looks black. So it is a little bit tricky, but we have a really big stamp right here. So I'm going to ink mine up this way. So it's facing up. I'm putting all the ink on. All of it, because I never know which section of my paper I'm going to actually stamp on. So there is Night of Navy ink, and I prefer to do it this way. I prefer to line this up and go this way, just like this. So we're going to give it a whirl and try it. Now I'm looking sideways a little bit at it so I can see if I have, the rubber should be hitting all of my paper. Now this is not the only way you can do it. Obviously, if this turns out terribly, I'm going to show you the other way. Otherwise, I'm just going to talk about it. So here's my paper. So some people like to put the cardstock down and then use a bone folder. And I always recommend, if you're going to do it this way, grab a piece of scrap paper, put it right over top of it. That way your bone folder is not getting messy at all, right? So you've got this paper, you're pushing the ink this way. And so I kind of just showed you 2 different ways to do this. Hopefully this turned out nicely. Oh, it did. I love it. It's beautiful. So there it is. We've got Night of Navy ink on Mossy Meadow cardstock. I'm going to put this very messy stamp to the side, and we're going to come back to it later. Now, surprise, we're bringing in Mossy Meadow. So you might be wondering, Julie, why didn't you just use Mossy Meadow on all of it? I wanted it to be a different color plaid here, but I also really like to darken down my edges. So I'm just coming through here with my blending brush, and we're going to come and darken down all of the edges on this one. And it makes a big difference. I always love the light in the center when you don't go all the way in. So there's just like some light coming down onto this, and it's just fantastic. So that is what we're doing with our plaid stamp and a couple of ink pads. Now, this could be, right now, you're thinking this could be almost like a Christmas card, right? Plaids, greens, really awesome colors. We're changing it up though, because we're bringing in some different things too. Let's put a couple of these together real quick, just so I can get some things off of my desk. So we're going to start with this white matte layer right here. We're going to put this on our card front. So there's your 1/4 inch cut right there. Looks beautiful, right? I'm going to just blot this a little bit here on my paper, just in case it's super inky, because it's going on white paper. Oh, actually, while it's still here, let's add a little glue. Flip this over, and then you can decide, which way up, which way down you want this to go. But this is going to center right here on the white, and that white just pops, right? It pops behind these dark colors. So there, we've brightened it quite nicely. So there is your beginning pieces right there. Now we're going to bring in this cute little pink paper. I should bring in the sample here so you can kind of follow along with me, see what we're doing. We're going to bring this little belt in, and we're going to pop this right across here. Now it doesn't have to be anywhere specific. You can kind of take advantage of your lines that you've stamped if you want to, and kind of put that right on there, just like that. Super cute. I have to look to see. I did put that on some dimensionals. Here we go. So we're going to go ahead and just put this piece on next. I'm going to grab out my dimensionals here and probably promptly lose them. But we're going to look for the rougher side of this die cut. So this will come die cut for you. So you're getting a circle. So if you don't have these circles, it's just easy button, right? These card kits are supposed to be pretty easy for you to just stamp and assemble, especially if you're on the go or you're in a hurry. We're going to put this maybe like right about here. on the card. So there we go. Here's the bones of your card. Any background stamp you have will work here, or you can just ink it up a little bit and have fun with it. You don't even need to use a background stamp if you don't want to. So those are some of your different options. Now we're going to talk about the rest of our pieces here. So we've got these ones left, so we're still working. I'm going to move my messy paper, but not too far. Let's do the easy stuff first. I like the easy stuff first. We're going to get into some pretty and pink ink here, and we're going to do the heart on the circle. So just a nice little heart right here. Just like that. Super sweet, right? Okay, we're going to move that aside. We're going to bring in the little brick, kind of like the back of the house, really. And we're doing this on this little white square right here. And we're going to fussy cut this. Now this is a super simple fussy cut, by the way, in case you were like, no way, fussy cut. It's going to be so easy because there's all straight lines, right? We're cutting it just nicely. Now the reason we fussy cut it, if you can see this while I'm doing this real quickly, I'm leaving a little bit of white around. So if I had stamped this image right onto my pretty and pink cardstock in pretty and pink ink, no one would see white bricks, right? Or the white mortar, I should say the white mortar in between the bricks. So I wanted that white mortar to go, and we're going to go ahead and just punch one of these out. So I'm just going to put this in from the back so you can see everything. We're getting a little pink heart. This is crucial. Let me just punch that out real quick. So you can see here, it punches the house, the square, this little tag topper, which is great, and then the heart. So you're doing that with that. So I am kind of leaving the house part up to you with this card kit. If you don't have the house, don't want the house, you're going to have to substitute in, you know, basically whatever. You can substitute in whatever you like. But we're going to go ahead and glue the bricks down here onto the house. Now, look at my chimneys here. I've got them going in the same direction, but you could definitely go opposites if you wanted to. In fact, let's give it a try. Let's try opposite chimneys. And by opposite, I mean one's on the left and one's on the right. So we're going to go kind of opposite. But there it is. How cute is the pink house? Is anyone thinking about Barbie right now? Because Barbie likes pink, right? So there we go. We're going to keep our little heart there. We're going to keep that, and we're going to actually add this little word. The sentiment love is going to go in there in Mossy Meadow. And I pulled this out of the Unbounded Love stamp set. So you could look around at any of your small stamps that you have and give it a whirl. Hopefully we got enough ink on there. Oh, it's beautiful. I love it. Isn't that cute? So sweet. I love it. Okay, now we have to do our heat embossing. We're going to do our little gingerbread house, and then this card's going to come together and be done. So let me just move some things aside. We do need our punch back, and I've got stuff everywhere. So we're going to do the square that I'm giving you. I shouldn't say it's square. It's kind of a rectangle. In Crumb Cake has two orientations. If you stamp this so that you can have a handle, it's going to be so much easier. Don't stamp it the long way. It's going to be really hard to hold on to this and get that in there. But we're going to stamp it portrait position. Okay. So let me grab out some heat embossing equipment. We're going to start with our powder pal or our emboss buddy or whatever you want to call these guys, right? And we're bringing in Versamark ink. I'm going to ink up my image in Versamark, and I'm going to let that sit there for a second while I bring in my powder. Now, Jess had mentioned this last time, and I hadn't done it, but I do randomly do this. I'll take my powder buddy, my embossing buddy here, and just kind of put this through the tray so that when I add in the powder, it doesn't stick as much. And I'm using the Wow embossing powders, which are really amazing embossing powder. And we got the little tray here. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and put this house in. I'm going to put this house a little bit farther to the right. Doesn't matter, right or left, whichever way you want your handle to go. We're going to put this in here. And are we all thinking gingerbread thoughts right now? I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm going to just put this very carefully to the side. And we're going to play with this later to put that away. I can find a spot in my craft room to hold it. Okay, so let's bring in the heat. Let's bring in the heat. We're going to do this real quick. While my tool is heating up, I'm going to grab my handy dandy tweezers. And we're going to give this our little gingerbread house really sweet look. So here we go. So the white is just starting to harden down and get glossy. almost done. I'm thinking it's good. We're good. Okay, let me put the tool away because that's the only thing we're heat embossing today. So how cute is that, right? So for all your gingerbread cards, we're going to let this dry for just a second, and I'm going to tell you why, because it's still a little bit, the wax, it's almost like wax, right, is warm on it, and I don't want to squish it in my punch. So we're going to go ahead and put these down while we're waiting. So this house is going to just come up here. We're going to kind of offset them here on our card. When we punch this one out, we're going to put it on dimensionals. Let's play with our ribbon here for a second. So I'm going to send you some ribbon. I'm actually going to work off the spool, do some bunny ears, but you're probably going to get about 10 inches of this ribbon from me. This is one of those dual pack ribbons. This comes, if you see in the catalog, because you're like, oh, where's the white ribbon? Because I love good white ribbon. This pack actually comes also with petal pink. So you get both of them. So I try to work it out so that I use white sometimes and I use petal pink sometimes, so that I don't get stuck with just like one big old, ribbon that I'm not using. All right, now that that's had a chance to cool off a little bit, we're going to just bring him in here, line him up in the punch. So I'm not worried about the heart or anything like that, right? I just need the gingerbread house. So line him up. So there was my handle on that one side. If you do it nicely, you can get that in there, and look how cute. Now we are not doing anything fancy with extra ink or anything. We're just using this just like this. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in a couple more dimensionals on my little house. And this could easily be a Christmas card, but it could easily not be a Christmas card, right? So it's one of those I'm calling it a tweener card. We're going to bring this one down a little bit and kind of offset it so that we can see both of them. Now you can see the difference in the chimneys here. So I've got two chimneys on the right here, and I've got them kind of on the outside edges on this one. We're going to bring in more dimensionals because our love is going to come down right over here. I'm going to actually add maybe two of them like here. And then I will put a little bit of glue on here as well. So we just have to decide how far down that needs to go. Of course, the backings must come off or they won't stick. It's one of those things. All right, so this is going to come down here, right about here maybe. I don't want to cover up too much of the cute house, right? And then my little ribbon, we're going to pop this on with some tear and tape. My favorite tape of all tape is the tear and tape. And I use it on everything. So we're just going to peel that off. You can squish that back up if you need. If it's too wide for your ribbon, you can kind of roll it upwards. We're going to put that right there. How cute is this looking? I really love this card. Sentiment and all. I just love it. All right, so this one really does need the pink embellishments. I feel like it needs the pink. So we're going to bring these in, and we're going to pop them in, a couple over there. And we're going to put one right here, and there it is. So the only thing I did different for this one was I changed the orientation of the pink house, which is kind of fun. So you can do that with this punch. You can obviously use it if you're stamping it and you're stamping the image. Your chimney is going to be on the right. But if you want to just use it to cut out some designer series paper or cardstock, however you want to use it. Super cute. I'm hoping you guys are oh, we forgot the little heart. One last thing before I go pop and look at messages real quick. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right here over top of the heart that is embossed on here. And we're going to put this little heart right over the door. So it just adds a little bit of extra pink to it. Isn't that sweet? That's card number 1. Super sweet. We got it done. All right, so we're good. We move some things out of the way because we have so many things today. We have 1 out of 4, and we're moving on to now just a completely different bundle from the catalog, because we're kind of doing like a little hodgepodge of fun stuff today. So I just want to check, make sure we're all still good. You guys can see and hear me. And hi, Lori. Lynn says you could use a brayer. That is a great idea, Lynn. Thank you for sharing that. I find that I forget about my brayer. I have one. I have the new one and the old one, and I always forget. So thank you for bringing up the brayer, because that would be a great way to ink this background up also. So I'm going to have to try to remember that next time I have a background stamp. Girls at in-person class, prepare to use the brayer. Okay, just saying that right now. We're going to be using a brayer. All right, let's see what we're going to do next. We're going to flip through this book here, and I love when you guys share tips and ideas too. Ooh, we're going to flip to this page. 58, 59 has some very autumn themed stamp sets. We're actually going to do Warms My Heart with this. This was a card called, we called it Pumpkin Girl. Pumpkin Girl was very popular, and I think part of the popularity of the Pumpkin Girl card is that everyone really liked the colors in the card kit. So the colors in the card kit are very autumnal, which is exciting, right? We want that this time of the year. So here's your card kit, and you're getting, this is what you're getting. I am die cutting things for you that I would normally not die cut. If you took my Wildflower Designs class, this is these are the dies from there. You would have been die cutting your own Wildflower Designs, but you're getting all of these pieces right here. So you get to use these pieces, so it's really ready to go. You're getting a card base, very vanilla, a beautiful piece of designer series paper. So you can see where we're going with this, I hope. Here's the dies that I used to die cut the for the card. I'm going to use a different sentiment this time. Here's Pumpkin Girl. We have Pumpkin Girl at the ready. Warms My Heart is a cling stamp set. Now there are no dies that go with this, which is why I chose dies that go with everything. You could use any the perennial postage, the deckled rectangles, deckled circles, stylish shapes, any kind of dies with a shape to it. You can sub in when you get just a stamp set that has 0 dies. Now in the catalog, I did case this card a little bit, but not completely. They fussy cut this girl, and I thought, no, I don't want to fussy cut the girl. None of my stampers wanted to either, so I found that pretty interesting. Now this card, we're using Memento ink because we're using a whole bunch of blends. Let me show you my blends over here. These are all the blends. I hope you love these colors. These colors make me happy. Like, this is a great color palette right now, and I'll be talking to you about the colors that we're going to be using. The reason we're using Memento ink is because this is water-based and the blends are oil-based. Now, if you have Copic markers, they're also oil-based. I saw someone questioning this on another stamping Facebook group today, and it still surprises me how many people haven't heard me say this before or haven't heard another stamper say this before, but we say it all the time. Memento ink, water-based ink. Blends are oil-based. You have to use opposites attract. So the Memento ink works with these. If you use an oil-based ink like StazOn and then use your blends, the oils are just going to mush together and cause a mucky mess. So there we go. There's your PSA for today, right? So moving on, we are going to get into this card. I didn't show you the card yet, did I? Oh my gosh, it's super cute. Here's Pumpkin Girl. I hope you love her. She's adorable. And what I loved is the varying colors people used when I gave them just a few assorted blends that work beautifully with this paper. People went so wild with the colors. So here's Pumpkin Girl. If you look in the catalog, this looks very similar, except that they fussy cut girl and they didn't put this extra little frame on, which I thought was really nice. So that's how we went with it. So let's talk about the bones of your card, because this one is almost too gorgeous to add anything. Even Pumpkin Girl, cute as she is, really, this card is just beautiful as is. So we're going to go ahead and mount the designer series paper. Now this is the exact paper you're getting in your card kit this week, so it's going to look just like this. And going on very vanilla, and it's going on copper clay. I love these fall colors. This is a landscape card. I just want to make sure that I have my card base opening correctly, or we're going to have a disaster. But here we go. Here's your card. Isn't it beautiful? Like if you mailed this to someone and just had something on the inside. It's one of those note cards. It's just gorgeous like this. But of course, we're going to do Pumpkin Girl. We're going to do all kinds of things. Now, when you get these die cuts at home, this one actually you don't need for this card, so you can save it for another project. You can use it on the inside if you want. We're just going to use this frame right here, and we're going to glue this down. Now this has a little bit of a delicate edge to it, right, because it's kind of thin. So I'm going to bring in my silicone mat and a little bit of glue here, and we're going to see if I can't just dot this a little bit. Now you can, of course, you can run this if you wanted to. You could just run glue. It's harder to get smaller amounts out if you're running it, because you tend to like just get really gloppy and crazy with it. But there you go. So we've got polka dots of glue on there, right? And we're going to bring this on here. Now this, you're going to see this is going to pretty much frame the card. Oh, I probably have it over just a little bit too far. I'm going to slightly squish it this way. This is not recommended. I don't recommend you wiggle it around too much because there's glue on the back of this, and you're going to have glue everywhere. So I should have been a little, oh my gosh, it's not even sticking. Why are you not sticking today, my friend? Okay, it's probably because I'm trying to be so careful and not move it. All right, we're committing. So as soon as you have it tacked a little bit, I'm going to recommend you flip it right on over and push that glue right tight to the paper so it doesn't wiggle off. And there we go, just like that. So it kind of frames part of the designer series paper, which is really pretty. And let's talk about Pumpkin Girl next because she's super cute. So again, saving this piece for another card. You're going to have these two pieces, which you can see will go on here just as they are. We're not doing anything fancy to them. But before we do that, we're going to do Pumpkin Girl and our sentiment. We're going to stamp Pumpkin Girl in Memento. We're going to stamp our sentiment in Cajun. So the base here is copper, and I chose Cajun as a darker tone on tone look almost, so that it really would stand out. Now you could use copper if you have copper. You could use espresso, you could use peacock. There's lots of different colors you could use, so don't feel like you have to always have the exact things that I have. Not at all. All right, so on our little, you're getting this die cut right here. This is Pumpkin Girl. She's going on here. So let's see if we can get this on here. This is a red rubber stamp. Now you're going to see the stamp is way bigger than Pumpkin Girl. So I'm just going to set this on here. This is the back side. So you're going to see here we're cutting off her feet, cutting off a little bit, maybe a little bit of her hair. Not too much, I think. Everyone appreciated her messy bun the other day, so we're going to try to get that in there. And everything is not laying flat in my crafty space because it's crowding each other. So here we go. We're going to do Pumpkin Girl right on top of here. Hopefully you guys can see this. We're going to line this up best we can. We're going to bring her over, and I'm going to put her right about here. We commit and we go. Let's see how this works. And oh yes, I love it. It's beautiful. See, so you can get Pumpkin Girl on there, not a problem. I did one earlier just to show you, and this is just kind of a scrap that I mostly cut off her feet. So you can see here her feet are at the bottom. So you really don't lose too much of her, even though this is a little bit smaller of a die. You don't lose enough that you're going to be like, oh no, I can't possibly. Yes, you definitely can. So I only need to color one of these. So I'm going to just grab out my blends, and we're going to do a little coloring. Now, I'm going to color on a scrap paper so it doesn't bleed through onto my little background here. And we're going to play with all of these great colors. I did mention I was going to talk about colors. Let's do the pumpkin first. We have pumpkin, dark pumpkin pie. I think I have a light one here too. So we have the pumpkin pie blends. This one is also dark. Interesting. And this one is light. Okay, could be because one of mine is probably this one. I have some that don't work as well anymore. So I just keep throwing new ones in my bin, and I let my girls have fun. That's what we do. So the pumpkins are pretty easy. I'm just going to go ahead and color in all of the pumpkin. I don't do super fancy, fussy, coloring. I'm going to go around the outsides here and just color. Now I'm using the nib end. I always use the nib end. I don't use the other end because it frays horribly. It frays horribly. So I don't use the brush end. I'm only going to use the nib. Now I'm bringing in the nib, and I'm going to just go ahead and kind of darken down the lines that are on this pumpkin. And that's enough shading for me. Now you could, of course, you could get fancy and go do other things too, but you don't have to. Now for the stems, I have dark mossy here. So we're just going to do kind of the stems. I didn't want them to be brown, but this mossy is kind of, it's almost like a leaf on one of these and then kind of stems. So we're just going to grab those real quick. For my lady's skin tone, this is very vanilla. This is not white paper, so I use the light petal pink. Now there's a whole great pack of blends that you can use for skin tones, but the petal pink actually worked really well here, so I just kept with this one. So we're just doing her face. She does have an ear here tucked into her hair, and if you mistakenly, I'm not pointing out names, I'm not saying any names right now, Kathy, but if you mistakenly color her ear brown, it's okay. It's okay. I did use the SU200. It's a kind of a chocolate brown. I love this color for her hair. Now you could use other colors too. You could, you want her to be blonde, you want her to be a redhead, you choose. Any browns will work. There's a lot of great browns to choose from that aren't just in the color family, right? They have these SU and they're all numbers. So you can buy them as 2-packs and you'll get a lot of variety there. They're great for hair, they're great for animals, they're great for trees, all kinds of stuff. So what we have left, we have the girl's boots. So I have pecan pie here for her boots. And to be honest, I think I just used one color for her boots. I don't think I went fancy and did anything like multicolored. I just colored her boots brown. Like, boom, done. Okay, good. Moving on. Now we have, this is the fun. This is going to be the most fun right here because Some of the gals. No, I did the girl in gray overalls with a blue shirt, and people were using blue to do her overalls, and I was like, of course, jean overalls. So I have got to switch this up now because I thought that was the cutest thing ever. And you may be wondering what blue I'm using. This is actually boho blue. Right now I've got the light, so I'm just going to go ahead and do all of her pants in light. I'll come back in with the dark and just kind of accent a little bit. But the blue on the jeans was just too cute, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to do this now. So I really just pulled a lot of these colors. I feel like her boot comes up higher than that, unless the girl's hiked up her pants a little bit. No, I have done that a time or two, going out to the barn and all, but here we go. We're gonna, I don't know, maybe not. No, you know what? I'm looking at this one, and I have her pants coming down to here. So coming back to this one. Sometimes it's hard to tell. That could have been boot or maybe jeans. So we're going to go with jeans because isn't it cute in the blue jeans? All right, we're going to bring in a little bit of the dark. Now I'm just going to kind of accent a little bit here, just a little bit. So kind of where Stampin' Up has some lines here for you. So it makes it kind of easy. And then you can do a little bit on the outsides if you want to, wherever you think you want just a little bit of a darker area. And it just gives it enough shade looking, kind of a shade that it's just super awesome. The last color I have here is the light gray granite and the dark gray granite. And I'm going to just use the light here. So she's going to have a nice gray top instead of the, so I went opposite here. So I don't think I need anything on this side. I think I may have colored a little bit too much. I got carried away with the blues here, but how cute is that? And you can come back in with the dark if you want and just kind of do a little bit of on the edge, kind of gives you a little bit of a nice little look. So there we go, girlfriend's in blue jeans, and then she's got kind of like a gray, and it's just so cute. I mean, I just really feel like this is super cute. So that's it, coloring, and that wasn't horrible coloring, right? We do need to do our sentiment. This one says, hey pumpkin. And on the stamp set, which I buried somewhere in my room already, warms my heart. So besides Pumpkin Girl right here, you have Apple Girl, you have Wreath Girl, and you have Donut Girl. Like, I love Donut Girl. But we've got Hey Pumpkin and I Would Pick You Over and Over Again. Both of these sentiments are going to fit on this piece right here. So I did Hey Pumpkin, but we're going to try this other one out just to see what it looks like. The other sentiments in here are Deck the Halls with Wreaths of Holly, Memories of You, Warm My Heart. So there's some really cute simple sentiments on here, something different, definitely. We're going to go ahead and stamp the longer sentiment than Hey Pumpkin though. So this one says, I would pick you over and over again. And this really would work well also for the Apple Girl. And I swooshed on the bottom here. So I rolled my stamp. We're going to flip this over and try the B side, and we're going to try it again. So I'm just going to stamp up and down. No swooshes when you stamp up and down, Julie. So remember your rules. So I kind of rolled it, picking it up. And there we go. I would pick you over and over again. There is the beautifulness of it. And I, caught the ink here at the bottom. It picked up that. And I rolled my stamp down as I was lifting off. So I got that little accent piece. So we took care of that now. Now your card kit will come with some of this copper clay twine. So you can make a little bow. I did not cut them ahead for my kits tonight because of time. So I just ran out of time. But that's okay. I will have them in your card kits when you get them. So this is really curly, like it's on a spool, so you can see how it tends to just curl, which is kind of fun, right? So you're going to have a little curly ribbon there. I love that they kept that as an offer, this catalog. Usually they get rid of twines and things as we go along, so I'm glad that they kept it. All right, so hopefully we're still in camera screen here. We're going to go ahead and put down this one right here. This one again has kind of a delicate edging, and it also has little holes in it. So there's little like detail holes, which will ooze the glue if you are not super careful. And so you just want to, we're going to just sprinkle some around there like that. This is going to come on here. It's going to come top to bottom, as you can see here. It's going to be pretty full on top to bottom. And I'm going to bring it over almost to just the corner of my copper die right here as I pick this up and show you. So I'm just kind of catching this on the corner so there's no extra paper behind it. It kind of just fills this in so it doesn't look funny. To me, I thought it would look funny if I didn't do that. All right, so this is going to come on here with dimensionals, but we're going to glue this on in. I forgot this step. This could be optional. Maybe I won't do it this time. I did sponge the edge of this, very vanilla, with some balmy blue just to have it transition into the peacock. But you know what? I think we're going to just skip that part right now, and we're going to keep rolling because we still have 2 more cards to do, and I don't want you to like fall asleep here during class. And it's okay if you fall asleep. I get it. So we're going to do it this way. We're just going to pop her on here and maybe not sponge her, but we are going to definitely want some dimensionals behind this. So hopefully we can get enough on here that works nicely. This one's almost done. We'll pick all these off. And I had one girl who put dimensionals. She did the opposite. So she glued the this peacock piece down right now that we're putting on. She glued this to the bottom and then she popped up the frame. So it almost looked like a tunnel. That was really cool. Now, it's okay that this is not in here yet because we have some room to kind of sneak it underneath, and I do need to trim it too. So I'm going to trim it a little bit this way. And because, yeah, that'll work. I don't know if I can get an angle on here. I think I can. Just a slight angle. You know how I love me some angles. So I got a little bit of an angle on there, which is great. This is going down flat. We're going to cover up. No one will ever know I stamped that side. Just not the prettiest, right? We're going to bring this out right about here, covering again up to that corner, that first corner here with that outer die, if you will. And then we're going to go ahead and put this little twine on. Now for this one I did use, surprise, I used a glue dot. Normally I'm all about the tear and tape, but for this kind of like a bow, if I use linen thread, I'll put a little glue dot down right there in the corner. It's going to catch the knot of my bow here right on the glue dot. So cute. Now here's the 2 cards side by side, and I would love to know if you prefer the one with the blue sponging or if you like the one, hopefully you can see them both, if you like the one without the sponging. I'm almost thinking I like the one without the sponging. It pops a little bit nicer, doesn't it? We do need some bling here. So we're going to bring in some of this beautiful bling, and we're going to use these peacock colored ones. I know that some of the girls at camp did play with the peacock blends or embellishments a little bit, and I thought that I really like the peacock on there. So I'm going to show you what we use, and I know why. We use these at class. It was Petal Pink and Pretty Peacock foil gems. So they use the peacock gems, and on this one I use the Petal Pink. So the Petal Pink really blends in, but the peacock ones stand out. So I'm not sending you these embellishments this week. I'm sending you these embellishments this week. So the peacock ones here also work out really nicely. So that turned out pretty sweetly, I think. Let me move some things out of the way, and we're going to get on to our next card. I want to make sure, so we don't need balmy blue. We're not sponging balmy blue today, but that is optional. You definitely could do that. I don't know why I'm trying to cover up my glue. Wrong things. Okay, let me just make sure you guys haven't fallen off. And oh, Lori likes the blue sponge. Lori was one of my VIPs. Lori was here from class. This was a popular one because I remember asking everybody, no sponging for Donna. And I remember asking everybody what was your favorite card, and it was either this one or the very last one that was everyone's favorite. So Pumpkin Girl was very popular. I think I like this one a lot better. You know what? But I also like her blue jeans better. So I love when my girls come and hang out with me so they can show me like some varying ideas. That's where I'm going with that. All right, here comes our next bucket. This one is a pretty quick one. This is some online ribbon. This will, again, be in your card kit. I just didn't cut it yet. This is actually it's called Cream. It works really nicely with vanilla. This is the one with the blue. So everybody that was like, I want to see the blue card. Here it is. We've got Misty Moonlight Early Espresso. We do a little fun sponging. Caring Leaves is another stamp set that does not have dies or a punch or anything with it. It's a very simple stamp set, and it's 2-step stamping, which I love. It's got 2 very simple sentiments. Some things never change, and you're simply the best. So you can see in here, well, I have everything mounted except for one of them. So we are using them quite extensively. Now I'm sending you, speaking of stylish shapes dies, my favorite dies in the world, I'm sending you some squares. So these will be die cut for you. And I'm also embossing for you. We're going back to the plaids. This is the Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder. So in your kit here, you are getting this piece of Very Vanilla that is going to be embossed in plaid. You're also getting everything you see here. You've got a little bit of designer series paper, which could be used in either front or back side. Some of my girls like this side better. Some of my girls like this side better. So I have everything out. We're going to get going on this card. This one is a really simple card also, by the way. Oh, I should show you what it looks like. Look at how pretty. So everybody that was excited to see this card, this is a fun one that people really changed up the squares like almost extensively. Now, somewhere in here, oh, I didn't pull everything out. Here we go. It would help if I showed all of the product here. So you're also getting these squares right here. So you're getting 3 of the Very Vanilla and you're getting 2 of the smaller Night of Navy. So this is what you're getting with this card kit. You can fill these in with anything. This is such a great card kit and really very simple. Again, we're doing a landscape card. We're going to go ahead and just put a few of these layers down so we can get them off of the counter here, right? So come on, glue, stick with me. That was a pun on purpose. I hope you guys enjoy that. If Sandra's going to watch this later, she might really appreciate my humor because Sandra and I get that. All right, so here we go. We have the Night of Navy. Now this is one that you can decide if you want the embossed up or the debossed up. And I liked the embossed up, so I'm just going to go ahead and put this on here because this is just how easy it is. So we're going to pop this on here. Again, lots of good layers. Loving the layers. But the layers aren't on here just willy-nilly layers, right? They all go together. They all cohesively form some really awesome, just basic shapes that keeps your card cohesive. And then on this one, this is Misty Moonlight. So we've got Misty and Night of Navy. So we've got 2 different tone blues here, which is nice. I did sponge this originally. I'm not going to sponge it tonight, but I did sponge the outside edge of this just to darken this down a little bit. So that is an option at home if you want to, but see, you don't have to. I'm not doing it right now. So we're going to put this on here. We're bridging the distance right here. This is where you decide if you want your designer series paper to be blue flowers or the more white flowers, I guess you could say. But I'm going to stick with the blue because I really like the blue, I think. I say that and then nope, I'm sticking with it. I just have to. Maybe I'll change up how I put my squares down. You're going to see some varying designs from this card when I share this week on my Facebook page. So there we go. Bones of your card right here. And you've got all these cute little squares to work with. So if you're at home and you're like, I don't know how I would use this, you would use this really, I mean, there's so many ways you could use it. But we're going to talk about how we're going to stamp these. We're not stamping the blue. We're just stamping these ones. I'm going to bring in my paper if I can find it again. And we're going to do some 2-step stamping. 2-step is the funnest. Now, before I get going though, I do want my sentiment. Do I have a sentiment somewhere? Lost my sentiment? Sentiment. Oh my gosh, I didn't unpack everything. We also need more leaves. Okay, let's do the sentiment. You're simply the best. This is going to go into the Misty Moonlight ink, and it's going to go right here onto one of our little squares, and it does fit in there. It just fits in there. So you need kind of a small-ish sentiment, but it's really sweet, super sweet. Now we're going to just set this one aside because we don't want to dip into the wrong one. We're going to bring in both of these outlines. So in our stamp set, we had outlines, as I mentioned, the outlines look like outlines, and then the inside of the stamps are the distinctive stamps. So they're meant to be not a full image, which is great. And we're going to do this we're doing the outline here first. So you're just going to find a spot on your stamp. It may not all fit, and that's okay. We're using Early Espresso, so I'm going to just highlight that we are using Early Espresso for the background, in case anyone has trouble with that. Early Espresso for the background. And then we're going to put this one away because we're done with that, and we're going to bring in the inside stamps, and we're doing them in blue. And the reason I love to do something like this is just because it is so unexpected. So I'm just going to stamp full on. I'm going to kind of take advantage of my photopolymer, and it just gives you a really light stamping. So that's not stamped off. If I stamped that off, it would be almost opaque. Can't even see it. So we're going to do the same thing with this leaf. We're just going to go ahead and stamp that right there on this little square, and I just think these are so fun. I could probably do these all day. They're so easy, right? So here's our little images for our card. Now I did do this, so I probably ought to because I really like this. Misty Moonlight, little dauber, just a little bit of ink here along the edges because this is so light. It just kind of blends into the card. So I did take advantage of, so hopefully you can see that. Let me just, maybe if I bring them down here without my paper, that might be a little bit more obvious. So you can see here the very vanilla that I have not edged compared to the one that I have. Like your eye is drawn to this one because it has a darker edging and it stands out a little bit boldly, right? It's like wearing lipstick, I guess, if you wanted to kind of think of it like that, right? The point of wearing lipstick is to draw attention to your lips, or eyeliner even. So these darker colors that you just use to enhance things, make them more beautiful, that's what our ink on the edges, our little sponge dauber is doing right here. So look how much prettier they are. I just think that's really fabulous. Okay, so we're going to bring this in now and we're just going to assemble. This one is really, it was like super quick and easy. I can move some stuff aside. So how I did mine was, if I bring it in so you can see it, I started with this one, and they can be crooked. They don't have to be straight. I mean, if you want them to be straight, absolutely. Like if you were like, nope, everything needs to line up just like this, kind of across, right? Cute. Somewhere I have some blue ones in here. Here they are. And then you could accent them in here with blue. Maybe put a blue under a couple of them or what have you, right? I just kind of went more willy-nilly. And I'm going to probably repeat here because I don't quite know what else I would do right now. But I know that some girls got super creative with this, and I will be sharing all of those ideas later on. So this one I put down. So that you can see here I'm putting these couple of them down flat. And I put this one over here with this one. Kind of just however randomly you want to. I'm going to just go ahead and put this one down right here. So they don't have to all be seen completely either. You can hide a few of them if you want to. These guys here went on with some dimensionals. And I'm going to just keep picking through my sheets here because I don't want to have to cut the sides right now. I'm going to have to come back through and cut a whole bunch of sides. Oh, wait, there's one more on this one. Okay, we're good there. And let me try to not bump my camera, and I'm going to bring down another sheet of these. And here we go. These dimensionals are like the best thing ever. Okay, so we're going to bring a couple of them up there. So here we go, if I can get this one off. Hope you guys are enjoying the card class. We had a lot of fun on Saturday, a lot of laughing, oh my goodness. And it's just so funny to the mix of my friends that come and hang out. So wonderful to just see everybody get together, and everyone is so helpful. I think one of my favorite things is that everyone helps everyone else out, like absolutely. All right, so we're going to put this one over here. I have a little gap right there. There we go. So that's going to go there. So I kind of buried this blue one a little bit further, but I could have put my middle one more in the middle, I guess. That's okay though. Ribbon, as mentioned, you will be getting a piece of this cream ribbon. I'm going to probably guesstimate about 10 inches. I like to do the bunny ears when I work off my spool, and then go over and then up, and then you can kind of adjust it a little bit here. Just like that, bunny ears. I'm going to do a little trim this way and this way. And that way, when you work off your spool, the only thing I'm throwing out is this tiny little piece right here. I have a harder time if I have a cut piece of ribbon, which obviously I'm sending you, and I understand that. I've worked with cut ribbon too. I just like to work off the spool. That way, if I'm not happy with the bow, I can start over, make it longer, make it, or bigger, shorter, however I want it to be. And I feel like I'm wasting way less ribbon. So we're going to pop that on there just like that. Super cute. And we are going to put on some bling now. So for this one, I don't think the green one's quite work for me. So I think I'm going to have to do gold. We will probably be doing gold on the last two cards. For this card, in case you're wondering at home, like, wait, what did we use? In class, we use the adhesive-backed swirl dots. They're in the Latte Love. So there's like a pecan, a petal pink, and then kind of like a vanilla. So this is the vanilla right here, which worked out beautifully. But you'll be getting these in the mail. So if you have adhesive-backed and you want to use those other ones, feel free, do whatever works for you. But for right now, we're gonna bling in some gold here. So there we go. You're simply the best. That was a really easy, quick card. And it's a really easy, quick card to recreate with squares. So these could be, you could change up the colors and do these little squares. And here's your Christmas sentiment, maybe a couple of stamps with something Christmassy on it. And it's done. It's like that simple, easy. And it's a wow too. Definitely a wow. All right. Linda says dabbing the edges always seem to make a card. They do. I love it. Hi, Michelle. Michelle's going to watch us on replay. We're going to wish Michelle very, very, very best wishes on a speedy recovery as she's recovering. And I'm just checking quick messages. Okay, so we're going to go into our final card. Final card here. Here we go. Let me set that one aside. Oh, this one. This one was the fave of very, 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 very many of my friends. This one was my favorite. And this one, I think when I showed the kit, this was one that everyone was like oohing and eyeing over, like big time. So we're going to jump in here because, oh my goodness, this class is really running along. This one has a few different colors. We've got Wild Wheat Pecan Pie, Daffodil Delight, and Blackberry Bliss plus Memento. Okay, we've got a little dauber here for our daffodils. Let me set that aside so I don't make messes with it. Now we're using the Light the Year bundle, and this one is so awesome. This is also kind of more of a year-round stamp set, I think, more year-round bundle. We've got 2 lanterns. We talked a little bit about these lanterns. Somebody said this could be a bird feeder, which I think was genius, right? Put little birds around it. Hang it from a tree with maybe some pine boughs. You could have a bird feeder here too. But 2 different lanterns, year-round lanterns. We talked about using them for camping cards, nature cards. Obviously, we're using them for, you can use them for Christmas cards. The card that we're using them for today is a little bit more autumnal. Let's go with that. These are the dies that come with the set. This rectangle, deckled rectangle is just in here because we actually use it on the card. So we also use the Timber 3D embossing folder, and you're going to want a marker that has yellow. This is crushed curry. So photopolymer stamp set, fantastic one. We whenever I have the stamp sets out, I let my girls, if they want different sentiments, go for it, right? And let me show you the card. This one is like fan favorite. I love this one so much. So I've got Sending Love and Light this time of year, and it's kind of more of like a, I feel like it could be a Thanksgiving card. It's definitely not as Christmassy unless you're really into the Victorian purples and such, right? So we have a lot of grays going on here, purples, those rich colors. And let's look at your card kit exactly so you can see what you got. Now I did a little bit of die cutting and stamping ahead, so we didn't have quite so much to do tonight, because this one is a little bit more involved. So when you get something fancy like this, it is a little bit more involved, right? But you do have a whole bunch of base pieces right here. We're going to put these together real quick so you can see the bones of what you're getting. So you're getting some of this really beautiful DSP that was a carryover, in case you didn't know that. This is the, drawing a blank right now, I want to say it's like Nature's Sweetness, but I could be wrong. It's got the gold that you see here, all these shiny words and script, that is in the paper. That's part of the paper, which is fantastic. So we don't even have to emboss or stamp or nothing. It's just like the paper is really, really awesome. So I've got Blackberry Bliss, and it's going on a mat of basic black. So we're putting these 2 dark colors together. And it might look really dark, but then we're going to bring in this really awesome pop and white piece. Now I decal rectangle dyed. If that's a thing. I rectangle die cutted. Oh my gosh. I am like tired tonight. So here we go. I did the die cutting first. Let's go with that. I die cut this and then I embossed it. And the reason that I did it that way is that I didn't want to squish down. I'm trying to decide which side up and I can't decide. I didn't want the embossing to get squished. So this is just coming on here. Now it looks really awesome. This white edging that is all deckled on a rectangle that's got those little cuts through it. It's really awesome. And then it's also got the embossing. So this is coming to you just like this. And all you have to do is just glue this down. That's really all you have to do. So you have a beautiful card kit right here. And I mean, this card kit right here is worth the admission here. This card kit is the one that you want the whole class for, I think. So there you go. You're starting with this. Now you can change up. These are your other pieces. Obviously lots of white and some mossy. You can change up, put whatever you want on here. You have a wreath. A wreath would look beautiful on there, right? You have a Christmas tree. You have, like if you want to do a deciduous tree, you can do all kinds of stuff. So there's lots of options there. I'm going to show you how we did this one though, because this one is definitely a keeper. So we're going to start out with our Memento ink on, and this is the bigger lantern of the 2. So again, this is one of those distressed kind of stamps distinctive, right? So it doesn't, don't expect to have ink everywhere. It's not meant to. So if you can see this one right here, it's supposed to stamp like this when you stamp it. So you're using your big white, I shouldn't say your big white, it's small, but it's bigger than the strips that you're getting. So you're going to go ahead and stamp this onto your white, so it just looks really, really good. Now, of course, this would be a great, also, think about this, doing this in perhaps some heat embossing powder, right? You could have a silver or a gold lamp, like you decide. We're bringing in Blackberry Bliss and the little tiny candle. Now, I want to point out that if you stamp this off, so you stamp this in the blackberry and then you stamp off and you get kind of more of a pink tone, which was great. My daughter did that actually, and I looked at her envelope because she stamped 2 of these, and I was like, that looks like advent candles. One was purple, and then one was kind of more of a pink tone, which was great. So we're just doing a little bit of stamping here in purple. So we're getting a little purple candle there. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring in the yellow marker I mentioned, crushed curry. I'm going to use the nib end. These new markers are really much improved from their old ones because they're so much easier to color with. So we're just going to color in the flame here on the candle. Now, you do need to be careful if your ink is really wet. It's going to kind of run and you're going to have some really interesting colors. Nothing wrong with that. We are going to bring in the Daffodil Delight and a small blending brush. Now, you usually see me use the big ones. I use the big ones. I have them labeled, one for each color. The small ones I will wash and you know, use them over and over again with different colors. So this is, we're just going to get a little bit of this, and I'm actually going to daub this off on something. Let me grab another scrap. I have scraps everywhere. We're going to just tap this off a little bit so I got the harsher ink off of there, and then we're just going to come in here and very, very softly add a little bit of a glow right behind the flame. So I didn't go off like real crazy, right? So just the tiniest little bit. It makes it look so realistic. It's really pretty. All right, so let me move that one aside. We're going to die cut this. We're also going to be die cutting and stamping on here, and I think I'm going to, as we're getting really long, I might not do all of the things, but on this piece, you're going to be die cutting. Did I talk to you about the dies? I did. Did I have the dies? I need them. We are die cutting things, Julie. Okay, so in here you've got this kind of sprig here. You're going to die cut 2 of these out of this mossy, which I have already done. And then we're going to be die cutting, or stamping, I should say. You're going to stamp on here. You're going to have, you can do a pine cone, and I did 2 of these other items. So pine cone, and this is, again, is 2-step stamping. You have a background and you have kind of more of a an outline. I found it easier to do the background one first. I'm doing these in the pecan pie. So if you stamp, it looks really cute just like that. Like you don't even have to do anything else, right? But I wanted to show you the difference here. If you stamp the next one down over top of it and it's darker, this one lines up a little bit trickier. So it's a little bit harder to get that second layer on there to get that depth. So depending on how many times you stamp it, I mean, it looks really cute like this. And we die cut it out. So you can choose to do the pine cone however you like. That's in the pecan pie. We're going to do the wild wheat. The wild wheat is everyone's least favorite color in the world, I think. So again, we're going to do the background stamping here, which I think is fabulous just like this. And when it dries, it does dry a little bit differently, which is awesome. Now you've got the outline stamp here, so we're going to just go ahead and we're going to try to get one of these on here lined up so you can see the difference between the darker with the extra or with just the light one. And so you can play around with that. I did 2 of those. And after we do the die cutting, so we have these all die cut, I just need to die cut my lantern now. So we're going to bring in the machine to do that real quick. And then we can assemble our card. Oh, we didn't do our sentiment stamping. One of those was supposed to be a sentiment, and I just kind of kept going crazy with the, we'll do it on the back of this one, maybe even. Sentiment. Blackberry Bliss. Here we go. Sending love and light this time of year. I really loved the sentiment. So we're bringing this in, and we're going to just ink this up, and we're just going to pop this on here. So yes, one of your papers was meant to be for your sentiment, and I went crazy and did pine cones. But white paper is always in abundance if you are a stamper. You'll have enough. You'll have enough to do everything you need to do. And while we're waiting for the die cutting machine to come out, this is how we're die cutting our sentiment. We're just basically fussy cutting with our scissors. We're kind of curving around the letters a little bit. Just keep everything kind of nice and rounded, and you can do this. A little bit of practice. Just kind of go up and around, and it does kind of look like it's more die cut. Snip off if you need to. If there's just too much paper in your hands and you can't handle it, snip it off. You know, go like that, snip it, right? And then just kind of keep going around. And you can come back through if you need to and just kind of nip any harsh edges, right? If you have a good pair of paper snips are awesome. There we go. There is our die cut sentiment. So we have that ready to go too. The only thing we don't have die cut is our lantern. So let me bring in my die cutting machine. We're going to die cut this, and then we're going to finish our card up and go on about our lovely evening. All right, so got all my plates in here. And we have this big lantern die. So there is a die for each lantern, which is great. We're going to pop this on here. Let's see. Well, that's about right, I think. Maybe. Right. No. Over there. Good. Okay. I need a plate. Top plate, please. Here we go. We're going for it. We'll have a beautiful lantern for our card. So this would be a really great bundle, of course, for your Christmas cards if you're thinking Christmas and you really like the lantern. We could do that. Now, we all lamented over the fact that this lantern doesn't have a spot in the top of it to die cut out this little circle. So, I mean, you could use a punch, but it's an oval shape. So I feel like it would look a little off, I think, if you tried that. But I mean, you could definitely try it if you wanted to. I don't think it shows up too terribly. So it's not the end of the world. And I'm doing a little bit of dry fitting here because I need to make sure I know exactly where I want everything to go. That's about where I'm going with everything. Looks good to me. So now we're going to do our glue down process. So this is where I basically, sometimes if I really like where it is, I'm just going to pick up an element right as it is and kind of hold it in place and glue it right down again. I don't want to pick it up too far because you know what happens when you pick it up too far? You can't remember where you wanted it to go. So same thing down here. We're going to go ahead and I'm liking this right here. So it's kind of coming off a little bit. Now these little greens, instead of gluing them down, I'm going to catch the ends with tear and tape. And I'm going to catch both of them so you can kind of see them lined up here. I'm going to just grab both of them right across the middle. And I caught them both, so they are a little bit looser, which I kind of like. I'm going to try to bring my pick tool in and grab the tape off of there so that we've got that off of there. And then the lantern's going to go on with dimensionals, which shouldn't go too far away, so that's kind of nice. I'm going to pop one up here at the top, a couple more. So make sure on Wednesday when you're putting in your order to hit $75 to get free shipping. And Karen, I'm so sorry. Karen just put an order in this weekend and she messaged me and it was a nice order. It was a big order. Thank you, Karen. And she said, does Stampin' Up! Have free shipping? And I said, no, unfortunately they don't. And now all of a sudden they do. And I feel so bad because Karen was like, okay. So that's kind of just how it goes sometimes. Like sometimes I don't know when they're going to have free shipping. And if I had known, of course I would have said, hold that order, but I didn't. And that is the way it goes. And there's always somebody that's, I know that other people have mentioned that before too, where they've just placed a big order and then they get shipping, free shipping gets announced and they're like, I just placed a big order. And it's just one of those things that they don't tell us ahead of time too much because they really don't want us to be holding our orders. They want us to keep ordering all the time. And so if you hit it right, it's like the jackpot, I guess. If you hit it right, you're good to go. So I put a few dimensionals behind here as I tucked all that in, as you can see here. Really pretty card. We are definitely bringing in the gold here for this one from the sentiments. And I wanted to share with you the embellishment that we used at class. These are the gold textured adhesive back dots. Really shiny gold, as you can see here. And they worked beautifully in this card. Now let's check it out with the more metallic ones. See if we like these ones. Now there's different sizes, right? So you can see the size difference already. And this is why it's nice to have a really great variety of embellishments, because sometimes you want something just completely different. So here's the two cards. I'm going to lift them up a little bit here. Hopefully you can see them. So different embellishments. These are the ones you're getting with your card kits. But if you like the other embellishments that I've used in any of the cards for tonight's class, just add them to your order, and then you can switch up how you make your cards at home. So these kits are coming to you. This is our favorite card. I'm thinking that's everyone's favorite card, although I have a few friends who really like blue, so you may really enjoy the leaf card here. Pumpkin Girl, she was a really big hit too. And then we have our little gingerbread love. So there was 4 different kind of, not necessarily bundles, because not all of these are bundles. 2 of these are just stamp sets. I just used standalone stamp sets and brought in different dies, or you could use punches, whatever you have if you're creating something similar at home. Just, you know, swap in some different things. These 2 cards, the gingerbread house and the lantern, those ones are definitely bundled cards, so you're going to get the bundle when you get those. So Lori says that's going to make a beautiful Christmas card. I think so too. Wow, we did it. Oh my gosh, this was a long class. We went like 10 minutes over my hour, and I'm glad you guys hung out with me and checked out this great class. So much fun in person, but of course you can have a party at your house too. Same card kits, right? And Jess likes the houses. Michelle likes the lantern. Michelle, that lantern was super popular in class. I'm glad you like it too. And Michelle, I told everyone that you missed them and that you wish that you were with us. And of course, everyone misses you too. So I just wanted to share that with you, because you asked me to say hi to everybody. And I personally went around and made sure that everybody knew what you were up to and when we might see you again and how you were doing. So expect some paper love in the mail is all I'm going to say. You might have a few friends sending you a card. So sorry if I let that out of the bag, but I might have shared your address. So thanks, Janice, for enjoying the cards tonight. Don't forget, Wednesday is free shipping day. So Wednesday, $75 order, you're going to hit free shipping. You can use my host code. You can get the card kits and embellishment, free shipping. It's the works, right? If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave comments here. I'm going to sign off and get on with my evening. And I thank you guys for spending some time with me. So until next time, stay inspired, create something beautiful, and share the love. Bye, everybody.